Razmik rolls a 4, so Mochy runs. Again, a 5 for Razmik. He can only move one checker from the head with each roll, except for rolling doubles. Now, Mochy 4-1, 4-2. Three from Mochy. So again, he's got to play both the 5 and the 3. He has to move one from the head, so it has to be the 5 because the 3 is in effect blocked. Okay, 6-4 for Razmik. He runs with that. Mochy has another 5-3. He has to play from the head, so again he has to play the 5 from the head, and then he's got to play a 3, which he'll continue on. Oh, Razmik. 6-1, comes off with a 6 and then around, so he's got a little bit of a 3 prime, which retards Mochy's play. Mochy has to play one off the head, as I understand it, so he's got to play he can play the 1-4 combined number out to the 6. Razmik plays 6-1, Mochy 4-5. Now he only has he has to play a 5 and then the 4, so he runs. Razmik 3-2. The 3's blocked, so he has to play a 2 and then continues with the 3. 3-1. Mochy doesn't have a 3, so he's going to have to play an ace off the head. So that'll go to what we know is the 23 point, and then play a 3 from there. Okay. Razmik 5-3. Oh wait, now I'm a little confused because he didn't play one from the head. He just played the 5-3. Two. Two. And again, with all of the objective, obviously, is to get all your checkers around into your home board, and then you can start bearing off. So, at the moment, Mochy has 4 points within Razmik's home board blocked by having a checker on them. So I presume that restrains a bit. Razmik getting checkers into his home board. Now it's interesting, and you know, I can see the other stream too is on an adjacent television here. Yeah, it seems as though, and again, it's part of the blocking structure, if we will, that okay, but they end up with you know, just single checkers all over the board. Which you know, if even with a single checker on a on a pip, the other your opponent cannot land or even pass by that pip. So you know, you can't use it as an intermediary way station, as you will, if you will, as you pass by. So again, I'm just trying to understand a bit of what's going on here and have begin to develop some appreciation for the game. And it's just incredibly different, I guess, than regular backgammon, and it takes some real getting used to here. Again, it's interesting to me in observing this. It seems as though you know, Razmik probably has been playing this game maybe all his life. He seems to have a much more rapid movement and understanding of what he wants to do. Mochy being somewhat new to the game, although a great game player, probably doesn't have nearly the experience in this game, so it seems probably a little bit more unnatural to him than it is to Razmik. Again, it's interesting. I guess you, and we see it with both of them. Of course, Mochy's home board is in the lower right. Razmik's is in the top left. Mochy has 4 points blocked in Razmik's home board, and Razmik has 4 points blocked in Mochy's home board. So apparently some of the strategy here might be you know, prohibiting the your opponent from getting many of his checkers into his home board by virtue of your blocking those pips. But again, you have to balance it against the fact that, you know, it is a pure racing game. So not only can you block your opponent somewhat, but you also have to be advancing in this pure racing type game yourself. Fours by Razmik. Okay. And again, you can see he just seems to have a much more innate or basic understanding in the smoothness and precision and rapidness of his moves. Mochy, you know, seems to have to play a little bit more deliberately. Has to think about it a little more. Again, probably being much newer to the game. It's really odd too, in that they're both playing. Again, this is counterintuitive to what we're used to. They're both playing counterclockwise. You know, where in backgammon you would play one clockwise, one counterclockwise, and you have a lot more natural interference, perhaps. Wow. Now, Mochy's blue and playing to the lower right. He seems to be much more advanced than Razmik, and doubles him out. Mochy doubled and Razmik cashed. Or dropped it and letting Mochy cash. So Mochy's up 1-0 in the 7-point match. This is it's called Longgamon, Carl, or Nardi in Russia. Apparently a very, very popular game in Russia. You start with, as you can see, Mochy playing the blue. His all 15 checkers are on what would be his 24 point, and Razmik, all 24 of his checkers are on what in backgammon would be his 13 point. But they're both playing counterclockwise, so they're going in the same direction. And you know, again, Mochy's home board's to the lower right. Razmik's is to the top left. They want to get all their checkers to their home board and then start bearing off. So it's kind of a pure racing game. But that stack of 15 checkers on the diametrically opposite corners, as I understand the rules, and there is a link in the description underneath this stream here to some basic rules of Longgamon. But with each roll, you have to take at least one checker off of what's called the head, which is that original big stack. And there's no hitting, but you can't land on or hit and move on past a pip with is 1 point on it, or one checker on it. One checker or more is a pip is blocked. So it's just totally unique and foreign to me, no pun intended. But okay. Hey Tara, bring me a couple more potty pads for me. Now, as I was saying earlier, some of y'all might have missed, this is apparently played much more widely in Russia and Armenia and some of those countries than backgammon, as we know the international game. So this is in those countries and cultures a wildly popular game. It's interesting with Razmik with 5 points in in effect, Mochy's outfield, I guess you would say, really precludes Mochy advancing easily to toward his home board there, because so many of those points in his outfield are blocked. Again, one or more checkers blocks a given pip. And there's no hitting and recirculation as we find in regular backgammon. No, today's a Longgamon only on streams. Backgammon tomorrow, they'll be in local times. Backgammon or Longgamon in the morning and backgammon in the afternoon. I think the backgammon round 5 starts at like 3 o'clock, 3:30 local. So and there's three rounds tomorrow, I believe. And then throughout the remainder of the week, there'll be some combination of Longgamon and backgammon. I think between the main backgammon tournament and then some major jackpot events, there'll be a predominance of backgammon matches as opposed to Longgamon matches. But again, in the Russian society and culture, the Longgamon is as important and predominant to them as backgammon is to us. So again, I guess I'm going to have to watch a number of games of this just to develop an any appreciation at all, because sadly, for not only for myself but for my ability to convey any knowledge of the game to people watching it here, I'm sadly lacking. But again, other than there's very few Western players that play Longgamon. So again, we can see with both of them, with so many checkers spread out, you know, and again, one checker on a pip blocks that pip, so you can see Razmik has 4 points blocked in each of Mochy's home quadrants, or home and outfield quadrant. And Mochy doesn't have quite as many points blocked, but fairly significant number of points blocked in the opponent's home board and outfield. So it's seemingly kind of a balancing act of advancing and blocking here. Again, this is played with the same time settings as backgammon, but and it's interesting, and I've mentioned it a couple of times. You can see Mochy's used considerably more time than Razmik has to this point, and it just seems again that Razmik's probably just much more experienced in the game and comfortable with the play than Mochy perhaps is, and you know, and that translates into advantageous play.
Anyone waiting for the long game on the Prix /tournament?
Just occurs to, and again, seems to be a game you would have to play a considerable amount to have a, you know, an appreciation for the best strategy that you can employ. So as we can see, Mochy's, what's he got? 8 checkers in his home board, whereas Razmik has 10, all on the 3-point or 4-point actually. It's kind of interesting, you know, again, Mochy has 4 points blocked in Razmik's home board, but Razmik, you know, what's he got? 11 checkers now into his home board with, or 12 checkers into his home board with 11 of them on the 4-point. Mochy trying to restrain as long as he can, keeping Razmik from getting all his checkers into his home board, but in doing so, it seems as though, you know, Mochy is even further from getting points into his own home board. Okay, Razmik's all in, and you can see he's bearing off in accordance with the rolls. Now, Mochy has, whoa, that's big, takes 4 off. Mochy has his 1s, 2s, and 3s blocked, which there's some advantage to that. Perhaps here, I would think maybe Mochy's going to play to the 6, keeps 2 pips, 2 points blocked, and brings 1 checker into his, all the way around into his home board. So I'm thinking, well, and Mochy does something entirely different, but who knows, right? 6-3. Set of 3s. 1. Okay, so that blocks any 3s that his opponent may roll. Now Mochy 7 gets it ready, gets it in. I presume you ultimately have to get it in anyway, and there's no hitting. Okay, Mochy needs to get moving here, although Razmik isn't taking many off with so many checkers on the 4-point. He's kind of losing the okay, so Mochy lets that go, and it's going to be 2-1 Razmik. Glancing over at the other stream 2, Sergey is leading Raj 2-0. Okay, so here we go. Again, you can only take one checker from the head on the roll. This is really intriguing, I must admit. I've yet to really understand and develop some sort of a strategy myself. I'm just trying to hope from watching these guys and understanding the basics of the rules, pick up a little something by absorption here and just watching it. Set of fours. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Some limit that we can see as to what Mochy can play here. Again, my understanding, you can only take one checker off of the head with each roll. So with those doubles and a number of blocking or points blocked in front of them, it's kind of difficult to make a move sometimes, and that seems to be part of the strategy, is to block as many points as you can as you advance your own checkers, and in an attempt to keep your opponent from advancing his. And it seems to be in each case, Mochy has, playing blue, seems to, seems as though Mochy kind of has a strategy of blocking Razmik's home board, where Razmik seems to have more of a strategy of it's these things you can't put your legs underneath. Razmik has more of a tendency to block what would be Mochy's outfield. A set of sixes. Now let's see what Razmik can do with that. There's the one off the head, another, two more. It's a real subtle combination of blocking and advancing here. And again, like I say, it seems to me, and it's not surprising really, that Razmik seems to be, and probably having played the game much, much longer than Mochy has, Razmik seems to be play with a little more confidence and comfort than Mochy does. Mochy's, again, relatively new to the game, although he's easily the best backgammon player in the world. He's new to the Longgamon game and seems to struggle with his decisions a bit more than Razmik does, and we can see that Mochy's used considerably more time than Razmik has, and I think that's an illustration of the points that I make. Mochy, he's kind of bringing a number of his checkers around and stacking them, but keeping some distribution blocking Razmik's home board. But again, Razmik has Mochy, what I would call Mochy's outfield, 5 of the pips blocked, so Mochy can't really advance many checkers through that area. But Mochy similarly has six pips in a row blocked, although I'm confused a bit because as I understood it, there you couldn't have a prime, not a 6 prime, and Mochy does have a 6 prime, and so I'm not sure of how exactly that works. But, actually, as we look, Razmik has a 6 prime as well. So I think this is the type of game, obviously, watching it, you pick up a few things. But I think it's one of those that you certainly just have to sit down and play it a bit to see. And Mochy's outfield is just totally blocked in effect. So he's having to stack so many checkers over there. But it seems as though you've just got to sit down and play this game somewhat to develop any appreciation for it at all. Yeah, there, Mochy's just completely blocked over there. He can't do anything. Razmik's getting a number of checkers home and will soon have to judiciously, break this blockade he's got over here. Okay, so now he seems to have quite a significant racing edge, if we will, where Mochy's kind of stalled back here with 13 checkers on what is his 14 point. So I would, from my kind of ignorant perspective here, it seems as though Razmik is well ahead in this situation, maybe to the point that you know, he can play on for a gammon rather than cashing this. Mochy has got a lot of work to do to advance those 12 checkers he has on that point. Okay, so it seems as though, what? It's hard with these, they don't fit under here because of those, they're so tight. Okay, so Razmik's kind of made a jailbreak here, taking his checkers around. So I think seemingly he's in a pretty good position here to play on for a gammon, and Mochy's trying to get his checkers around and into his home board to avoid being gammoned. Okay, Razmik is all in now and can begin to bear off checkers. Mochy's still trying to get checkers around. And it appears to me he shouldn't have much difficulty, if at all, beating this gammon, although I guess strange things can happen. Okay, so Mochy can really bring him home now. Razmik has, what, 13 to bear off. Mochy has 4, 7, 8 crossovers to save, so should be able to accomplish that, although another set of doubles or so, and Razmik's going to be in pretty good shape. Mochy efficiently getting them across. This is anybody's game as far as beating a gammon here. Mochy's just going to try to get them both in and beat the gammon. There's a 6-5, so he could gammon him likely with a set here, and then Mochy's got a few non-saving numbers in his cup. Like that. He gets gammoned. Okay. 4-1 Razmik in this 7-point game. Now glancing over, Sergey Petkov leads Raj Ansari 4-0 in their game. So it seems as though, to me, and again, I'm the ultimate layman in this game, this Longgamon, it seems as though the more experienced Russian and Armenian players in this game have a bit of a distinct advantage, and over Mochy and Raj, who are skilled backgammon players, but likely relatively inexperienced Longgamon players. So, and it's again kind of an interesting. How was I going to phrase? Again, just seem to have basic strategic philosophies here. It seems as though each game Razmik is focus has been to block, kind of tie up and block most of Mochy's outfield, to use a backgammon term, where Mochy's has been more to not necessarily do that, or not to the extent. Mochy has been running more so from the head into the outfield, and Razmik has been playing more from the head initially to at least block Mochy's outfield in the advance of Mochy's checkers. So it's kind of like almost that, how shall we say, a walking blockade that Razmik employs to advance his own checkers and retard the advancement of Mochy's checkers. But, you know, I don't know how much, if at all, Mochy and Raj have played this game before. I understand Mochy was in London for a few days prior to coming on to Dubai here, and played Justin Knoll some Longgamon practice matches. And, of course, again, I doubt that they're probably both feeling their way a bit. So I don't know how valuable it is to play Justin as an example, someone who probably has little, if any, Longgamon experience. So kind of get the idea. It's kind of interesting. Mochy probably has the feel playing an experienced Longgamon player like Razmik. Mochy probably feels like in this match like many backgammon players feel playing Mochy backgammon. You know, even the somewhat experienced backgammon players are not nearly as accomplished and skillful as Mochy is, so he has a distinct advantage. And I think I tend to note this in this match, Razmik having just a better conceptual understanding of the game and the strategy of the game in comparison to Mochy. And so that's kind of an interesting take, I think, that again, to an extent, the shoe's on the other foot for Mochy playing Longgamon. And again, it's interesting, and it is a dice game, and you do play you play in accordance with the dice that you roll. And, it's hard for me to quickly appreciate, who's getting the better rolls in comparison to the other, and perhaps Razmik is just rolling him off the table. It's hard for me to gauge that. Yeah, definitely. 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 And again, now Mochy has, by that diversification of his checkers, really seriously retarded Razmik's advancement. But by the same token, Razmik has a very, very diverse range of checkers in Mochy's home board and home outfield, which is not allowing Mochy to advance much either. And that time differential is continually increasing. So we can see Mochy's down to 3 minutes and 46 seconds, where Razmik still has an excess of 12 minutes. Okay, Razmik is, again, he positions himself initially in what would be Mochy's home outfield and then ultimately in Mochy's home board to both kind of simultaneously block Mochy's advancement and position himself to most efficiently ultimately advance himself. So we can see how Razmik in Mochy's home board here is maintaining as long as he can that 5 points blocking Mochy, but then Mochy's with those 4 blots over there, or I call them blots, but they're not really blots in this game. 4 blockers, and Razmik's home board has kind of kept Razmik from advancing many things. Now, a set of 6s certainly changes that. That was in the way that everything is structured. That set of 6s was seemingly a joker, as it often is in backgammon. Again, Mochy is got Razmik really stymied in advancing his checkers. Again, he can move his spares, if you will. And again, I'm combining backgammon terms, which may or may not be strictly applicable in Longgamon, but Mochy's advancing his spares while maintaining as much blocking structure as he can in Razmik's home board. Okay, so Razmik has doubled him. Mochy's trying to evaluate the situation. Now, again, Mochy's apparently, to my understanding, it would appear that Mochy is well behind in the race. I mean, I don't know the game, but this looks like a stone cold drop to me. Rain, maybe he can. Yeah, Rain. There are some rules that, and again, there's a description in below the video here in the description beneath it. There's a link to some basic rules of this game. Looks like they're gonna take a break. Okay, and Satara throws up the dual screen here. Raj and Sergey playing on, and again you can see how Sergey got that combination of, he's got what, 9 checkers into his home board, so he's beginning to try to advance his other checkers, and he's got quite an efficient blockade preventing Raj from moving checkers into his home board. So it's kind of a balancing act of advancement and blockade, which is not totally unlike backgammon, but again, here you block with one or more checkers on any given point. So again, Sergey advancing with his spares, if you will, and maintaining that blocking structure as long as he can, and then ultimately perhaps he gets some big rolls or big doubles and makes the run for it. Yes, Rain. Again, I know there's a restriction on primes. I'm not sure of the exact basics of that. I thought it was any 6 prime, but it may well be a 6 prime in the home board. Okay, so again, it would appear to me that Sergey is well ahead in the pip count, if we want to phrase it as such. So he'd be 18, 17, 16, 15, so that's 33, 66, 78, 92 for Sergey, where Raj has 50, 74. It's fairly close in the count, though. Okay, 6-3, so he can take it on around and maintain blockage of Raj's 3 and 4 points as far as advancing checkers in. For 1 now, we're Sergey to get a big number here. He could run, although Raj has almost got back into the race and into his home board. No hitting, of course. But we find the same thing, and that's a nice roll by Raj. Obviously gives him an advantage in this game. But, again, much like in the Mochy Razmik match, we see that Raj is has considerably lesser time than Sergey has. So again, both Mochy and Raj probably not as experienced and comfortable in the game, and can't move quite as confidently and freely and expeditiously as Sergey and Razmik can. So they end up playing with considerable time advantages. Okay, got some, thank you, Boris. You got some experienced Nordi or Longgamon players watching here, Boris Dektiar being one of them. You know, it was funny, I was having a discussion the other day. We were talking about the streaming services and so forth, and Arda and I and gentleman, and I forget his first name, his second name is surname is Artsamov, apparently a Russian player, and perhaps you know, some officer within the Russian Federation. And you know, we were talking about what we were going to stream and when we were going to stream them, and you know, Arda and I were both kind of the opinion that you know, maybe we don't stream as much of this Longgamon, and people aren't going to view it, and so forth. And you know, Artsamov agreed in certain regards, but he also said, you know, to the Russian community, Longgamon is as significant and as important as Backgammon is. So he didn't want to not give it its due, shall we say. Oh, yeah? I'm sorry?
Maybe Yuri, he played Longgamon and he speaks good English. So
Sure,
maybe
sure.
He can help you.
Absolutely.
I know you're struggling.
I'm struggling. Absolutely.
Very beginner. Awesome.
Okay, we're...
My name is Yuri.
Hi, I'm Bill. Yuri going to join us. He's a experienced,
Okay.
I guess you're Russian or Armenian?
Now it's online. My nationality is I'm Armenian. I'm Armenian, but I live
Online?
from the very beginning. But I was born in Moscow, in Russia, all the way.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, maybe turn and
Yes.
if you can and try to speak
I'll try.
directly into the mic. I'll do it in the same fashion, so you kind of do it like me.
Hello to everybody. Yeah.
Yeah. So
The score is 5-1. Razmik is leading, right?
correct.
Mochy start first. It's a little bit advantage anyway because he has one more active checker in the beginning of the game. This is important, not in race. Now he has 2 checkers on the board, and only after this we have the second checker from Razmik. Nice roll, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 1 down.
Now, with each roll, you have to, as I understand it, you have to take 1 checker off of the head.
Yes, no more than 1.
No more than
There
1.
are some
Now, do
exceptions.
you have to take 1, or but
Yes, you don't have.
you don't have
According
to, but
to
you
position.
can't take
According
more
to
than
the
1.
position. But in the very beginning, you need active checkers on the board. That's why you will take all the way 1 checker from the head.
And it seems as though, me watching it, Razmik has seemed to focus more on blocking a number of points in what would be Mochy's outfield. to keep Mochy from
Yes,
being able
that's
to
the idea.
advance
That's
into
the idea in the
checkers.
beginning.
Yeah, yeah.
It looks like a blitz in backgammon.
Right.
If we can blitz and make a gammon, here we are trying to make a blitz under the head or outfield. Both colors are going to do the same in the very beginning. They're attacking and at the same time they make a defense, making the same points under their own head.
Now here, your name is Yuri Akapov.
Yes.
Buddy, Boris Dekti, our friend of mine, he knows you apparently. He recognizes your name anyway.
Maybe because I think I'm well known in the world in backgammon and in Russia as a backgammon.
Yeah, and Boris
player.
is from Russia originally. He lives in the States now.
Okay, hello Boris. So let's evaluate the situation now. Mochy is white, right?
No, Mochy's blue.
Mochy is blue.
And
Blue is equal position. Mochy needs to take, I will say in backgammon's conscription, he needs to take 14, 11th or 10 point now. But 4-1 is of double 4. He can't take the 11th point or 10th point. But anyway, it's not bad. 16 points in the race. 16 pips.
well, you know, it's interesting because, and again, I'm completely
Okay.
don't know it, right? But particularly toward end game, kind of in effect, the pip count is important
Yes,
here as well,
yes,
just
yes.
as it is in backgammon, right?
Yes, I'll tell a small secret for the beginners and maybe for the professionals. By the way, when I'm playing serious tournaments, from the very beginning, because there is no hit on the board, it's easy to calculate the race. Because if I started with 6-4 and you start with 5-2, it means I'm +3, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I just only calculated the same time.
A running total.
Yes, only the difference, not both numbers, only the difference. That's enough. But we have 15 checkers in this initial position, 15 checkers on the 24th point. It means we have 360 pips.
Right.
It's
right.
around 52 rolls for the whole game.
Since it's a no-hitting
Yes.
contest, so it's just.
Yes,
like
I
you
have
say,
to count, but sometimes count is very important because it's the time to double or not to double or accept or pass. But it's not important only race. Of course, it's important the position. And it's very important in Longgamon they control some such numbers, for
and
example.
yeah, and it's interesting. I can see you say you do kind of a running count or a running differential. And that's probably much easier here because, you know, in backgammon with the cluster counting and the way
I
the
never
structures
do
are, it's easy to count.
Yes.
Here with the checkers distributed,
Yes, a
over
lot
so
of
many points,
yes.
it's much
That's
more
why
difficult
difficult.
to
But
count.
we can do it from the very beginning, controlling only the difference.
Yeah, just
In
a
backgammon, we
running
don't need it.
continuous
Yes,
differential.
if you show me any position, give me 5-6 seconds, I will calculate for both sides.
Yeah.
It's not so
Same with
difficult.
me. It's easier in backgammon than it
Yes,
is.
yes. There are some techniques, you know, and I know a lot of players know these techniques. It is not difficult, it's not a problem. So, what's the position now? Let me evaluate. Wait a second. White has a good distribution of checkers all around the board. It means they have very nice communication from each sector to another sector, minimum 2 numbers they have. Blue has only 1 checker in their board, then 1 checker on the 7th point. It means only 4, number in dice 4. This is the only one number which Mochy can use to get in the home. It's the best situation on the board when you can play all the numbers, 6s, 5s, 3s, and it's easy to move to like swimming across the board. But when the opponent blocks some numbers, it means you are you depend on your rolls.
Right.
It can stop you. You can lose.
Well, it
some.
seems, you know, I've been, and I suspect, you know, Mochy's a great backgammon player, great game player in
Yes.
college, but he doesn't have nearly the experience here that.
He's trying. By the
he's
way,
trying that Razmik or some of these other guys have, and they seem to just be, they play much more naturally and comfortably just by
yes,
virtue
of
their
course, of
long
course.
experience.
I think any professional at the moment will have an advantage against Mochy because, first of all, psychologically, because I understand that he's a novice player,
Yeah.
in spite of his huge backgammon results. But in Longgamon, of course, Mochy is novice, and that's why it's easy for me to play. But I saw a few games, 2 matches from Mochy. I like his play, his understanding. I mean, for a so short time, he understood maybe not, of course, everything, but some very important points he already understood.
Well, and I said it's kind of interesting that Mochy playing Razmik in this case, you know, an experienced player. Mochy probably feels like many people feel playing Mochy in backgammon.
Yes,
Now
I see.
He's the inexperienced player, you know.
Now there are a little more problems for blue because there are maybe 5 or 6 checkers on the head on the 24th point, and white is an attack. They're coming more checkers to the opposite part of the board. There are 2 numbers. Oh, 4 is very nice. 6 is very nice. Yes, some kind of defense. But in race also white are ahead. I see just only looking on the table that white ahead in the race. Nice roll also. Any 6 we need for blue. 4-1 is not so good because no aces on the board.
And I guess since there's no hitting, and obviously there's a lot of strategy in the blocking and so forth, but maybe in Longgamon, you know, having a advantage in the size of the rolls that you're getting are perhaps more important than in backgammon since there's no hitting.
It's a very interesting question. I think a lot of time about this. Which game, I mean, backgammon or Longgamon, is more, how to say this, it depends on roles.
Right.
My answer is, first of all, if we roll big numbers in Longgamon, it's anyway advantage, especially in the beginning.
Right.
It's so huge advantage that then there is very difficult for the opponent to make any defense against this. Because he has advantage in race and no problems for moving the checkers across the board, no way to make primes. For the opponent, I took a lot of points on the board because I roll a big numbers all the way, and I'm ahead in race. Normally they have maybe a 70% against 30 to win this game, as usual, and no way to think something how to defend. When the guys roll big numbers in backgammon, it's good in race in the end of the game, but sometimes maybe it kill you. You need small number, you need ace to hit, you need something special. There are some times in backgammon you need special numbers.
Yeah.
To escape of priming you, to not to hit, but to make a prime. But it's not so often as in backgammon. In backgammon, every roll, we're thinking in my mind what kind of roll I need. In Longgamon I don't think about this.
Yeah.
Any number I can play like this.
I mean, backgammon too, with the hitting and recirculation.
It's more difficult game.
It's more
for me,
difficult game.
Absolutely.
You don't. You may lose the advantage of some of your large numbers.
It's very easy decision to understand that backgammon is. Please forgive me, Longgamon players. I'm, by the way, also a Longgamon player, but backgammon is more difficult game. It's very easy to understand because it's the same rule from the very beginning. We have initial position, then we have to put it in final position and beer off 15 checkers, right? But in backgammon we can hit. It means we have one more new rule. It means this game is difficult, more difficult, because we have a new rule, one more rule. So what? Anyway, white a little bit better, but not so much as it was before.
But it seems as though sometimes
That's good number, 6-5. That's Mochy was need to escape both from the both.
Yeah,
Good
okay.
move. Now only running. If we comment now backgammon, it will be easy in 10 seconds to say the race,
Right.
right? Who is ahead, how many pips. Now it's difficult, even for me.
Yeah.
I'm not going to calculate all the checkers. Only on special understanding I can say that that's equal, that it is equal now.
Well, you know, and several times here, it seems as though Razmik will employ, you know, considerable blocking.
Yes, he
And then
tries to block all
he
the way. I
runs
see.
with his spares, but maintains his blocking.
Yes.
And then once he kind of gets everything in position, then he can kind of break and run everything at the end to take
Yes.
advantage of the blocking that he's done. So
That's normal tactic. Now it's easy to play any kind of strong. I mean, any player to play this position. It's only running.
yeah,
By the way, here backgammon player will have advantage against the longgamon player because he doesn't know. I mean, longgamon player doesn't know how to move to make optimal move when we have racing. I mean, across each number should be crossed, and so on. Some longgamon players are running. I don't know why. How do they think? But they run the wrong way. Backgammon professional player will make the best move every time now. Every move it will be every roll. Mochy will do the
very
best move.
efficient. Yeah,
I think a little bit. Yes, he has to think now about cube because time also is not so good. Timing, I mean, for Mochy. Because look at these 6 checkers on the 6th point of white. Its disadvantage is not good because blue has on the 5th point is much better.
well, you know, and another thing
Nice
that,
one,
that
nice one, ace,
comes into play large here, I see in both of these games. You know, Raj and
Yes,
and
yes,
Mochy, they're the
They are good.
inexperienced players, and
They,
they don't move as confidently and freely, and they use much more time, so they get at a time disadvantage
yes,
also.
it's experience. They need
Exactly.
experience.
Yeah,
They need
yeah.
experience. And this is a very good experience for them. Now it's again good for Mochy. Double ace is not good for the race. By the way, now maybe Mochy doesn't know this. He should take the first. He has 2 checkers, right?
Right.
He has to start from the 13 point, not from 16, because he has to keep this 16 point blocked as long as possible. This is small mistake,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
this is the best point for bearing off the force.
Exactly,
That's why
exactly.
he has to.
I understand.
He has to stay as much as possible.
Yeah, and that
One should play 13-6.
so
Equal. That I told you a few moves before. Now not equal. He is late with cube. I told him he should cube before.
yeah.
Too late. It's too late. It's too late, Mochy.
Now
It's too late. It's too
too
late.
late. It's an easy take. I
Wow.
think.
This is mistake for sure. This is a huge mistake for sure. Now we don't need to be the Longgamon player. It's enough to see the bows of both sides.
Yeah.
I think it's a pass. I think it's a pass. $27 pips for blue, and how much is it? 33, 38,
Razmik needs
45.
a large set soon. That's not going to do it.
Yes.
Okay, so Mochy should win the 2 points
Yes.
here.
In spite of this double 3. You see how much behind was white. Why they took, I don't understand, it's a huge mistake. Even after double 3, they were behind. So now 5-3. Now any gammon can save the match and win the match.
Yeah. So the score implications are very similar.
The score
between
like
the 2 games.
yes. Of course here Mochy has a huge advantage, of course, in understanding the cube. Such this, I mean, 7-point matches, 5-point matches. He is understanding of the cube. Of course, several times, a few times better than any other.
But as we see, and again, Mochy has a tendency to get into time trouble in backgammon, but he can live with that. He's used to it. He can play better. Here, he's not as comfortable,
Yes,
and he
see
has
this.
very little time.
Yes, I see this. White starts first. It's advantage for the white color, but it is not. But it doesn't mean that white have to win this game. Now we need big numbers in the very beginning. It's average 7. It's okay. 3-2 is not good because they want to take 23rd point. 23rd. It's not a good move for white because a big disconnection between the checkers. 2 and 4 to the end. Yes. Now white need 4. No 4 and ace for the blue will give them advantage. It was mistake for white. One move before. Ace, no ace. All the way from the head. No options. Yes. Again, 6 and 4s are good. 6 is good. Finally, he catches the 23
And
point.
just for information, my understanding is that Longgamon is a much more popular game in Russia than backgammon is.
Yes, not more. Very popular. But
Very.
during last 2-3 years, backgammon population or the love to backgammon game is grown very much in Russia. So maybe 50-50.
Oh, okay. Now
Really,
it's evened
really.
up somewhat.
We have a tournament for backgammon. We have maybe 130, 150 players. We have a tournament for longgamon, the same.
Ah, okay.
The same. So it's 50-50.
So I guess it's kind of interesting, I guess, and we see this with other countries as well, that, you look at Iran and some of the Middle Eastern countries. and
Yes,
so
I know.
forth.
Turkey,
play,
they have this kind of game. Sorry, interrupting you.
No problem.
They have such kind of game, but with a little bit difference in the rules.
But they
a
they
lot
seem
yes.
to everyone's migrating, shall we say, to the international game now.
Yes.
So more the traditional
Yes.
backgammon
By the way,
international game, and that allows everyone to play the
of
same game.
One of the goals of new IBF, International Backgammon Federation, is to increase the interest to Longgamon. Even in Balkan countries, I mean Bulgaria, and Turkey, East countries, I mean East Asia countries, they know this game. I repeat, a little bit difference in the rules,
Right.
but generally the same game, and a lot of people playing them. By the way, they have interesting game. It's something between longgamon and backgammon because they have initial position the same like in longgamon. One checker is enough to make a point because you cannot hit. But in longgamon, if you roll, for example, 5 and it's occupied, you cannot put your checker if it's under the checker of opponent. But if the opponent has only one checker, in backgammon we can hit. But in this game you can put on the head of this. It will be arrested. The checkers of opponent will be arrested if you put your checker under, on the top of his checker. So it doesn't hit, but it cannot move
I
until you
see.
take it off.
I see. Okay.
So what we have now? White managed to take the 4th point to beer off. It's very nice. It's the best point to beer off in the end of the game. And blue has only 5th point. It's not so good. And in the race against, looks like to be equal, a little bit white, a little bit ahead. And this game, I think 60-40 for Razmik. Chances, I mean, to win the game, 60-40 at the moment. But what about the pluses of the position for Mochy? White can take their checkers in the board only with number 3. Any other numbers, they cannot put the checker from outfield to the board.
Right.
first they have to put on the 7th point and then to roll 3. All
And by the
check-
same
yes.
token, Mochy can only come into his 5 point. In his,
But he
in
has
his
two
own board.
numbers. I mean,
Right.
Mochy, 4s and 5s.
Right.
So he now he
Yeah,
opens
so
one
it's
more number.
interesting. So it's not only the landing points, it's the points in front of that
Yes.
allows him to get to the landing
Yes,
point.
yes.
You know?
Now white roll double 5 is very nice roll for the race. I think very soon we'll see the cube. Just now, maybe it's pass, but maybe it may be cube and recube. Yes.
Yeah, cube
According
and
to the
recube
time.
at 2-away, 4-away.
Yes,
is
I mean this
very
situation, of course.
Dramatic.
According to the time also. Now we'll see
Right,
four cube.
right.
Yes, it's easy.
Mochi doesn't have the time
Yes,
to play.
I think it's correct decision to take this cube. And
I
now,
think it might have been, and again, I don't know the game that well, but typically it's at 2-away, 4-away for the leader to send a cube.
yes,
he's
it's
got to
very
be
serious
gin
decision.
almost. It
It's
seemed
very
like he might have
serious
made a-
decision.
He
Yes,
might
you're
have
right.
made a mistake.
You're right. You're right. You're right.
And the shortage of time by Mochi makes it an even bigger mistake because it allows.
I can
Mochi-
tell you the distance until the end of this game is around maybe 160, 170 points. It's a so long distance that Mochi can, for example, roll 2 times double 6 or something like
Yeah.
this. He can start to roll big numbers and white small numbers. So it's a good chance for Mochi to take this match.
Yeah, where if Razmik hadn't have doubled,
Yes.
then Mochi
Look at
got to
this.
maybe play
Look
2
at
or
this,
3 games.
double 6.
Yeah, Mochi may have had to play 2 or 3
Yes,
games
yes.
with
It's
only
like
12
Backgammon.
seconds, you know? With
Yes,
only
I
12
know,
seconds.
I know, with 4 seconds. Anyway, it's equal, a little bit white better, but it's not enough. It was not enough to cube this position.
Yeah. Well, this is really
This is
interesting
good for white
because,
double 5. This is good number. for
we're
five.
streaming the IBF
White.
YouTube channel, and they're showing this, but they're also overdubbing it on
Yeah.
another channel with Russian commentary, so it's serving a really wide audience.
You're right. Yes, of course.
Which is great. It's
It's really great. This is
what it's
this
all
is new
about is the
ideas. This is a
exposure. The
new
exposure.
area, new level of different kinds of backgammon. In Russia we say narde.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it's all about exposure, getting it to more people.
Yes.
More people seeing it and appreciating it, and so that game is over. Sergey defeated Raj.
After double 5 from white, a few rolls before, Razmik has again advantage, but still play. Still, the game is going on.
And it's interesting here. We can see, Mochi has the 1, 2, 3 blocked for Razmik. Razmik was 1, 2, 3, 4, now 1, 2, 3. So you kind of how should we say?
At the moment,
complicates their
these
bear
checkers,
in and
these
bear off,
checkers are not blocked. They are just waiting to start and to run. The problem for both to run as fast as possible to the board and then bear off. We see 3 checkers out of the board for white and 6 now 4 checkers. So
Right.
white is better, right?
Right.
1 checker
Exactly.
more for blue, and distribution. All checkers on the 4th point, and for blue, most of them stands on the 5th point. Oh, double 3 is good. No, from the 2. I explained him. Run from the 14 point. Okay, it doesn't matter. It's good for white. It's very small number to 1. 1 big number. Not this, not big double. Big double, not double.
You needed the other side. Of the
The other
dice.
size, yes. Sure. Good number, the 9 points both in. By the way, now I see it was small mistake for white, because if you roll now double 5 or double 6, it doesn't work.
Right.
He should take from 13. You see, he lost 4 points. He should
Yeah,
stay both
exactly.
on the outfield. 5-2. Now, anyway, he has to run. No, he has to run.
Yeah. Ultimately, you have to run. Right?
Yes.
I mean, you can only.
Yes.
You can
Now
only
he-
you can only blockade so long. Ultimately, you have to run. So
Now easy to see that blue needs as minimum one big number like double six or like for double five. Just now, no. No, no, no. I don't think he has to make cross to run. You should take from the 14th, yes, because now no more threes for white.
Right,
If you roll
right.
something
blocks
like double threes,
the
yes.
larger number that remains.
But he was wrong. No, but no,
Yeah, yeah.
double two, he'll stay. White should stay with double two, double deuce. Now Mochy behind maybe with two big doubles. Not one, two.
Yeah, Razmik's going to miss a lot of rolls, you know, with those voids. But he's so far ahead, he probably won't miss enough rolls to.
Even now it's not lost. After double five, something like this. Ah, very close.
Yeah, that helps, but it's not enough. I don't think.
Not enough, sure. Again, good for blue.
Okay.
One more attempt to make a big number. No. I think less than
Razmik's trying to
less
help
than
him.
2%, maybe less than 1% to win this game. Two big doubles in the roll, I think. Yes, just now, two big doubles in the roll. Mochy has to roll, right? Two big doubles. It's not a big double.
Got to go
5-4.
5-4.
Yes, for
You
sure.
got to have the big double.
4-3 gives nothing. 5-4.
Yeah.
No, what is
No,
this?
what is that?
I don't know.
I don't think so. But
Doesn't matter. Yes, no way.
so that's it. Congratulations
No
to
way.
Razmik.
Okay,
But well, thank you so much.
thank you. To
It's,
be a partner and commentary for you. With you, for me, it's a great honor. Thank you.
Well, I don't know about that, but thank you very much for joining us. And what time is it? This was 5:35. So in about 45 minutes, 35, 40 minutes, we're going to have another round tonight that we'll
Yes.
show. And that'll be it for today. And then tomorrow we'll show in the afternoon the fifth round and others of backgammon
Yes.
as well.
Yes.
So thank you
Okay.
very much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, so again, in 30, 45 minutes, we'll have another round of Longgamon. So don't go away.